Hello and welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here, my name is Whitley. Today I am starting a new vlog. It is going to be 3 highly anticipated romances. If you are new to this channel, one thing you need to know is your girl loves romance. And I have been so excited to read these 3, and what makes me even more excited is they all include plus-size females, which until recently there has not been a lot of representation for, so I am loving the representation and I'm so excited to get into these. The first book is Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. If you have watched any kind of booktube, I'm sure you've heard about this book, but in case you haven't, it is about a girl named Chloe Brown, and after a near-death experience, she creates this list of things that she wants to do to try to get a life, because she has been previously very sheltered and she wants to break out and get a life. So in comes Redford Morgan, her superintendent of the apartment that she just moved into, and they start out not liking each other at all, and I think it's kind of like a enemies to lover situation. I am so excited. I have heard nothing but rave reviews for this one, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably digging into this one first because I cannot wait. The next is One to Watch by Kate Stayman London. This is about a plus-size fashion blogger who I think sent a tweet out complaining about how this show, which is pretty much The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, I don't remember what it's called in here, but that they never have plus-size representation. So she is actually asked to come onto the show and be the next Bachelorette. And that's all I know. And I am intrigued. My interest has been piqued. I used to watch The Bachelor and The Bachelorette all the time with my sister, but it's been a while since I've watched it. But even though that's not really my thing anymore, I am really looking forward to seeing where this story goes. And last but not least is Spoiler Alert by Olivia Dade. Words cannot express how excited I am about this one. I'm excited about all of these. I know I say I'm excited about all of them, but I am so truly excited about this one. It is giving me all of the fangirl vibes. It is about this actor who writes fan fiction and this fan who also writes fan fiction and cosplays, and they end up on a date together. Say no more. Anything with fan fiction, cosplay, count me in, and look at this cover. It's so gorgeous. I cannot wait. So those are the 3 books that I'm going to be reading this week. I think I'm gonna have such a good week. I'm really hoping that I love all 3 of these. They have been like my most anticipated romances of the year, and the fact that they all have plus-size women is just icing on the cake. So excited. So I am going to go start Get a Life, Chloe Brown, and I will check back with you when I have an update. So I started Get a Life, Chloe Brown yesterday, and it is now about 7 p.m. the following day, and I have not been able to stop reading this book. I am on page 225, chapter 15. I am absolutely loving this book. There's so much tension, and I absolutely love slow burn romances. It just makes the end result so much more satisfying, I think. Just having to wait for it. All the teasing that we get. Oh my gosh. I have loved getting to know these 2 characters, especially because they both, I feel like, have so much depth. They've gone through so much, and I adore them both and just want them both to be happy. I don't want to give any spoilers, but I just reached what I would assume is like the climax, like the tilting point, we shall say. So I am so anxious to see how this problem gets resolved. I wanted to stop and check in now because I knew if I didn't, I would not update you until this book is finished, because I am probably going to finish this tonight because I have not been able to put it down. So I will check back with you when I have an update. So I finished Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert, and oh my gosh, it was phenomenal. I absolutely loved every minute of this book. I loved the dual timeline that we got from both Chloe and Red's perspectives. I just thought that was so unique and so well done, and I just loved seeing each character's feelings grow towards one another in their own separate minds. It was so good. I absolutely adored the characters. I thought they both really had depth. I really cared about both of them, and they felt like real people. They both had their own baggage and their own issues, which is sometimes overlooked in romances. And it was so refreshing to have a romance that speaks about mental health and physical health and how real people deal with that and how it can bring challenges into relationships. And I absolutely loved how it was dealt with in this book. And I'm not gonna lie, being a plus size woman, I absolutely loved this relationship. Reading about this super handsome guy find this plus size woman so attractive and begin to fall in love with her, not in spite of, but because of her looks, just hit me right in the plus size feels. I loved it. I thought this book was so worth the hype. I absolutely loved it. I know I've said that like 10 times, but that's all I can think about. I love this book so much. If you enjoy romances and have not picked this up yet, I highly recommend you do. I gave this 5 stars. Absolutely loved it.
So, as I'm sure you can tell, some time has passed since last you saw me in this vlog. Probably mostly because my hair got a lot longer and I'm also in a new filming setup. I moved my office library into a different room of my house, so that is also different, but even though some time has passed, I did not want to scrap this vlog idea. I really liked it and I still want to read these next 2 books. So we are just going to trek on and pretend that no time has passed. Because for you it hasn't, but for me it has been months. So the next book that I'm going to be reading for this vlog is One to Watch by Kate Stayman London. Like I mentioned in the intro to this vlog months and months ago, for me, I am not a big fan of The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. I used to be really into it. My sister and I used to be, but here in the past couple years I haven't been watching it, but I am all here for the drama. Your girl loves romance, as we all know. So I'm super excited to get into this and see what this has in store. Okay, so I have just finished the first 50 pages of One to Watch, and it's okay so far. I'm not a big fan of some of the things that have happened so far. This isn't spoiler because it literally happens in like the first 20 pages. But Bia, our main character, has had a huge crush on this guy for years. And they've been friends, you know, and he comes to visit her and they end up sleeping together, which would be great, you would think, if he wasn't engaged. And then he leaves to go back to his fiance, and I like can't even feel bad for her because she should have known. Like, you don't sleep with engaged people, you know? Like, this dude was willing to cheat with you, and you think now that you've slept with him that he's just gonna drop his life and be with you now? This dude was willing to cheat on his fiance with you, and you think that he's the kind of guy that's just gonna drop everything and be with you after that? Especially after he's had years to choose to be with you. And maybe I'm being insensitive because I've never been in this situation, but it's just really hard for me to be sympathetic when there's cheating involved. On the plus side though, no pun intended, I am enjoying some of the passages where she is speaking about being like the only plus size person in the room and how that feels and how isolating that can feel and how you just beat yourself up about it. Because honestly, same. So she just signed the contract to be the next main squeeze. So I'm going to continue reading and see how this goes. Okay, so I just finished reading episodes 1 and 2 of the main squeeze. And I'm not quite sure what I was expecting, but it was not this. We're just getting so much conversation and texts and emails, and we're not getting much internal dialogue. We're also getting like so much of the media side of the show, which I get it. Reality shows aren't reality, but we're like not even focusing on the romance. We're only focusing on like the ratings and how the show's going. Also, Bia has just kind of agreed to stay on this show and be made fun of by a bunch of handsome men that don't even want to be there just to promote the idea of body positivity. And I get that she's doing it to like be a good role model for other plus size people that look to these shows and don't see anyone that looks like them, which is amazing. And I know that she's also doing it to further her career, which is admirable, fine. But it just seems like a lot to put up with. Bia, along with myself, was expecting like this diverse group of men of all shapes, sizes, and colors. And they're all at first glance just like these bunch of muscled, douchey, generic guys. I mean, there are a couple of seemingly genuine and nice guys, but I fear that they're like only doing it because the producers are telling them to be nice to her at this point, because this whole book is just giving off that vibe. And because we've already had a situation like that in the past over these past 2 episodes, and now I don't trust anything or anyone. And there's also like a lot of these news articles and tweets about the show, which is cool, but I don't really care. I'm just skimming those parts to get back to Bia, honestly. So I'm hoping as the show/book goes on that it does get a little better and that they start treating Bia like an actual human being instead of like this prop to flaunt around. I do enjoy sassy Bia though. We've gotten some glimpses of sassy Bia and they are to die for. There was this one part where this, of course, big old muscled guy came up and he's like this personal trainer and he's like, oh, I can give you some lessons. We can get some of that weight off. And she like blows up in his face and is like, do you know my history? Do you know my medical records? Do you know my blood sugar? Do you think I'm not healthy? Like, you don't know me. Like, how dare you come at me like that? And I really enjoyed that because he deserved that. So my reading experience has been meh so far. It's okay. I'm going to continue reading and see what the rest of the book holds. So I just finished episode 4 of One to Watch. I'm about halfway through the book right now. There are 5 men left. And we just got to see all of the remaining guys with Bia and her family. And I'm actually starting to enjoy this book a lot more now. I feel like there may be some actual connections and that Bia's starting to let her guard down a little bit. I mean, I already know who she's going to end up with. I think anyone who's read this book knows who she's going to end up with. It became obvious in episode 2, but the interactions with the other men are really sweet and cute too. And I just still feel so bad for Bia because even though she is a powerhouse, a badass businesswoman who posts bikini pictures to Instagram and preaches body positivity, she is still super insecure and still feels like none of these super attractive guys would ever find her attractive and would want to be with her. But I really do think that there are a couple of genuine guys left, and I'm really enjoying seeing Bia and them get to know each other. So like I said, I have about half of the book left, so I'm really hoping to knock it out tonight and tomorrow, but I'm actually getting ready to go to my friend's house and we are going to watch a musical. She is like obsessed with musicals, and we have slowly been watching through all of her favorites. Tonight is Kinky Boots, and I am super excited. So may not get much reading done tonight, but hopefully we'll knock out the rest of this tomorrow. And I will check back with you when I have an update. Hello again. So I'm sitting down to film a video, so I figured while I'm in front of the camera I would go ahead and update you guys on One to Watch. So I just finished episode 6. I'm on page 305. There are only 3 men left, and I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of struggling at the beginning of this as I was telling you guys, but I have been enjoying it more the further I read along. It's so weird to read about someone who has like the same exact insecurities as you and how they deal with them. Like, I've read relatable books before, but I'm not sure I've ever read a character who so openly discusses insecurities that are so like my own. And I can definitely see how Bia constantly talking about these insecurities would be kind of annoying, because even me, who gets it, was like, okay, we get it. You're insecure. Let's talk about something else. But that is really how your mind works when you get stuck on your insecurities, and that's like all you can think about sometimes. So even though that is realistic, it's just not very fun to read about. It kind of comes off as whiny and repetitive. She does mention that her maturity level when it comes to relationships, she feels like she's so young, and I completely agree with that, because I feel like her relationship maturity level is like at a college age at max, and she's like 30 years old. I was really hoping that we would get like a fat, badass main character who is confident and happy with herself. And she acts like she puts on a good show sometimes, but throughout this whole show, throughout her head, she's just constantly thinking like, how can these attractive guys want to be with me and find me the least bit attractive? Which kind of makes it hard to root for her, because she's barely rooting for herself, you know? I'm really hoping that by the end of this, if nothing else, she at least gains some confidence but I guess we will see. So my mom and I are actually going on a Taco Tuesday boat cruise. I'm super excited. I'll bring you guys along. We get to go out on the lake and it's all you can eat tacos, get some margaritas. I'm so excited. Hey guys, so I did not update last night after I got back from the Taco Tuesday cruise with my mom. I just got home, took a shower, got my PJs relaxed, and read some One to Watch. So absolute chaos has broken out on Main Squeeze. I can't say much obviously for spoilers, but someone just walked out, someone's been sleeping around, and someone's back? Like, what? Also, I'm still kind of struggling with Bia. I really want to like her, but she does these things and she makes excuses for them and she doesn't really take responsibility for her actions. It was definitely dramatic, but I don't really blame the person that walked out. So there's only 2 men left right now. I think the one that walked out will be back, but for now there's only 2. Really just 1.5 in my opinion. I can't believe that Bia is even considering forgiving this guy. After what he did, forgiveness is just unimaginable to me. Another reason why I'm having such a hard time with her. I only have a little bit left here, so I'm going to continue reading and see what she decides. I probably won't update again until I finish up, so I will be back when I finished and give my final thoughts. Okay guys, so I finished One to Watch tonight. It was okay. I'm debating on between a 3 and a 4 star, maybe 3.5. I'm undecided. It was super easy to read and it kept my attention the whole time, but I just found it kind of predictable. I mean, I knew who she was going to end up with from episode 2, but it was still an enjoyable process to see how she got to the conclusion. And I wanted to love our main character Bia so much, but she made it difficult at times. She did end up maturing and gaining some much needed confidence by the end of this experience, which was of course nice to see. And maybe I was doomed from the start because I don't like reality television, but I could not pass up on a plus-sized fashionista vying for 25 men's attention, even though that's not really what we got in this book in my opinion. I really did love all of the representation that we got in here. We got a lesbian best friend, we got an asexual, a romantic, a gender non-conforming person, and a Black and Asian love interest, although I completely forgot Sam was Black throughout most of this, which is really unfortunate. I don't feel like it was discussed and described very well, considering I forgot that he was even Black throughout the majority of the book here. So overall though, I had a good time reading it. It wasn't bad, it was okay. But now I get to change gears and start spoiler alert. I am so excited for this book. So without further ado, I am going to get off here, start spoiler alert, and I will check back when I have an update. Okay guys, so I am 50 pages in. I just finished chapter 4 and I am enjoying it so much so far. We are getting to know these 2 separate characters and they both live these 2 separate lives. They have the front that they put up in front of people and then they have who they really are. Marcus, who is our famous guy, puts on this front of being this airheaded pretty boy for the media. And April doesn't really share her passions with any of her friends and family. Because of the line of work that she is in, she has to keep up this image and this reputation because she does not want to jeopardize her position at work. And on the other side of things, Marcus and April have both been talking for years over this website where they both write fan fiction for the show that Marcus is actually in. And now, not knowing each other's secret identities, Marcus asks April on a date after she posts this picture of her cosplaying on Twitter that gets a lot of heat and hate from a bunch of fatphobic people who thinks that just because she's plus size, she shouldn't be cosplaying these characters. So Marcus ends up sending April this tweet saying she looked fantastic and he would love to go on a date with her. So these 2 people who have been talking and liking each other for years are now about to meet and they have no idea who the other is. I have to say, I do love slow burns, but I'm also not a huge fan of where the conflict could be solved with just some communication. Like if April would have just told the guy that she's been talking to for years that, like, oh my gosh, hey, this guy from our favorite TV show just asked me on a date, it would have saved so much time. And I mean, I get why she didn't tell him, because she's not ready to have this guy that she has been liking and talking to over these past few years know what she really looks like, because she's like really self-conscious. And since this tweet went viral, if she did tell him, then he would clearly see the tweet and see what she really looked like. So I get it, I really do. But how could you not tell your best friend that you just got asked to dinner by the actor that plays one half of your favorite TV couple on your favorite TV show? But yes, I am really enjoying it so far. I'm super excited to see where this goes and their reactions when they do finally learn who each other are. So I am going to dig right back in. Okay guys, so I am 140 pages in on spoiler alert, and I am still enjoying it so much. I absolutely love hearing about April's career as a geologist. It's not something I've ever read about before, and I love when books explore different hobbies and jobs that we don't get to hear a lot about in books. And it could so easily be boring hearing about these rocks, but Olivia Day does such a good job at describing April's job and making it entertaining and interesting. Also explaining it in such an understandable way, but still showcasing how freaking smart April is. Also, side note, I think I might be in love with April. She is such a queen. She is in her late 30s, living her best life as a geologist and a fan fiction writer. She just got a new job that she is super excited about. She's just so confident and caring and funny and smart. I'm also loving the complexity of Marcus's character. I understand why he hasn't told April who he really is, but I think it goes even deeper than what we're actually seeing. I just cannot wait to see where this goes and to see how their relationship develops throughout the story. And it's also really cool reading about the fan fiction community, because I am such a huge fan of fan fiction, and just hearing about the slang that's used and me actually understanding the phrasing that's going on is just, it's really fun to read about. And it makes me feel better being a 27-year-old adult who enjoys fan fiction and knowing that there are people even older than me that still enjoy it. I have not wanted to stop reading this ever since I started it, so I'm going to get right back into it. I probably won't update you guys tomorrow because my husband and I are actually going down to the mountains tomorrow. His family is having a get together, and your girl cannot read and ride in a car or I will be sick. So probably won't get much reading done tomorrow, but it is a really pretty part of the state down there. So I think we might do some hiking, and I will definitely bring you guys along, show you the beauty. But that is it for this update. I'm going to continue reading a little bit more before I get ready for bed, and I will check back with you guys when I have an update. Okay, so I am on chapter 20. Things got steamy. Things got real steamy, and I am loving it. I'm also really enjoying getting to see Marcus and April like get to know each other and break down their walls. And they're like really starting to trust each other. And in my experience, which is pretty vast in reading romance, I know that there's going to be a point where something's got to give, something terrible's going to happen, and they're going to have this big blow up, the climactic fight ending of things. So I'm just enjoying this post-coital bliss while I can. They did have one small hiccup on one of their dates, but I just love April so much. She is so mature. Like, she did have kind of like a knee-jerk reaction to something that happened, but after a day or two of like thinking on it, like I said, like she came to her senses and realized that she may have overreacted a little bit, and she just reacted like she handled it so maturely, and she is just such a queen. But I just had to pop in and let y'all know that it's getting real steamy and your girl is loving it. I have about this much left, so I'm really hoping to finish this baby up today. Okay, so I've only read like 50 more pages, but I just had to pop back in and just express how much I absolutely love these two characters, not only as a couple, but as individuals. I absolutely love getting both of their perspectives because they both have so much personal struggle and like personal landmines that they have to navigate around with each other, but they still manage to mostly have their life together and know who they are and what they want in life, and I just love that so much. They obviously both have things that they are still working on and past trauma that they are still working through. Some we have discovered and some we have not uncovered yet, but they both do such a good job at dealing with it, and they are like so sure of themselves with each other. They are just so open and honest with each other. I mean, other than the fact that April still doesn't know that Marcus is the fanfiction guy, but other than that, they are both just there for each other when they need each other. They are like as close to perfect as you can get with still being flawed and relatable. And I know things are gonna go badly when he does end up telling her that he is her fandom friend and hasn't told her after all of this time. But as I stated earlier, I am just loving the pre-drama loveliness that I am getting from these two. So I really do think I'm gonna go finish this up and then I'll be back with my final thoughts. Okay, I finished it. Needless to say, 5 stars, absolutely loved it. I do feel like the ending was a little rushed, but that is like my only complaint throughout this whole book. It was so good. I can't tell you any more about the plot, but oh my gosh, I just love these two characters so much. I am speechless. This book was so good. Such a 180 from One to Watch. Like in One to Watch, we had this like really insecure person, and April like knows who she is, knows what she wants, knows what she deserves, and this is the kind of plus size representation that I want more of. This is like every big girl's fangirl's dream. If you were thinking about picking this up, I highly recommend it. So good. So that is it. That was the 3 highly anticipated plus size representation romances vlog. I really enjoyed 2 of these. One to Watch was a kind of a disappointment, but I don't know how to order, spoiler alert, to Get a Life Chloe Brown. I think I might have to order them this way. So we have Get a Life Chloe Brown, spoiler alert, and then of course One to Watch is last. I had such a good time with this vlog. I think there's a certain person for all of these books. I mean, I would recommend either of these two to anybody, but I feel like if you're a fan of reality shows, and maybe it was just me, maybe I was the only one that was struggling with Bia, maybe you'll love her. So if you thought about picking this up, I mean, don't pick it up just because I wasn't a big fan of it, because you may love it. Overall, had a great time with these. Hope you enjoyed the video. I know I definitely enjoyed making it. If you have read any of these books, let me know down in the comments. Let me know what you thought. And if not, let me know which one of these you would be most likely to pick up. I think that is going to be it. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, put a heart emoji down in the comments for our romances. Leave a like if you enjoyed and would like to see more vlogs. And that is all I have for this one. Again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate any support that I get on this channel. And as always, I hope you have a great day, a great week. Continue to stay safe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.